Okay, I broke it off with Courtney and knew it was going to happen. I'm starting class tomorrow, and I'm glad that I got to break it off with her before class started. I've been thinking about what I did for her. I feel like my efforts to connect with her helped her to relax. Of course, it was very detrimental to me. I would like to learn what my sister does. I'd like to learn about what she does, how to cut them off. Like I'm very good at giving people attention, um, how to make them feel beautiful and worth it, and I'm really very good at that. And I know that I'd like to be constructive in how I actually do this. I hope that what I was able to do for Courtney, because when I first started talking to her, I didn't really think very much of her. By the end, by the time I was done talking to her, I was terrified of her. I knew she was fine, she was ready to go. And it breaks my heart that I was so blind to what was happening this whole time. But it gives me happiness to know that I can see her in a stronger position than when I first encountered her. And it still breaks my heart that I have to cut it off. It would be unsafe for me to continue to be that person for her, to be her lifeline, basically. How can I move forward? How can I do this for several people? How can I see them in a state that they cannot see themselves in? Regardless of what my material is or what their material is, I'd like to maybe even fall in love with me, and I don't know. I'd like to meet someone with maybe the same, chills, the same, how do I put this? Someone who I can look at and trust. Kind of like my sister. There are times when I really don't trust my sister. Or sometimes when I know that my sister is not hanging out with a good crowd, which is scary to me. I I know that I have zero control over what happens to me, but surprisingly, I am picking up very nicely from where I left off. You know, um, I've realized not to put, you know, relationships. It's not important to me. I needed a reminder of why I don't want to be in a relationship. I feel like I'm starting college, going there to focus on my career and myself. And I'm really, really grateful for that. And I know Courtney's gonna be fine. I heard her voice. It was fine. More than fine. She knew it. She doesn't need me. I understand that. Hopefully now she can like take lives and not mine for once would be fantastic. Um, yeah, I hope I can continue to do this for people. I know it's very painful for me and a very frustrating process, and I'm not really knowledgeable enough to. I am knowledgeable enough. It's just that I don't recognize, I don't act on my instinct. I can tell that Courtney was not safe. I could tell that she required a huge amount of patience. I knew she was doing whatever it took to get me to trust her, to get me to give her my adoration. And I recognize that in this process that I'm doing right now, I'm trying to find my importance in the situation, but I have to. I can't sit around and think about being dead, being dead all the time. I have to figure out a way to recognize these feelings, realizing that these feelings will help people. My ability to feel will help people. Even though it's extremely uncomfortable to me, something that I can't bear, something that makes me want to kill myself, I have to realize that it's not in my control, like the reason I'm hurting is not because of something I did. It's not because I'm messed up. It's because I'm human, and there are a lot of people, there's a difference between feeling anxiety and there's a difference between feeling feelings. That's just my opinion. Of course, they might be the same on two opposite sides of the spectrum. And sometimes, there's different ways to help people, ultimately. And people say they want to help people, and they're going into a certain field in order to help people. But, in some perspective, it might not actually be helping people. I think that people help people just by believing in themselves, believing that God is doing the right thing for them, the universe is working in their favor. And trust that these feelings, even though they feel bad, that they are still correct. They're still good. And they are still beautiful, even if they feel bad. And I really hope that I watch this later and recognize these things. I just want myself to remember that even though what I'm feeling feels raw and awful, just feels awful, even though I'm experiencing that, it doesn't mean that I am awful. It means that I'm a human being, and it means that I'm exactly right. The fact that I'm feeling these things means that I'm exactly right. And I know this message will be hard to swallow even more in the future, but right now, I'm feeling, even though I just broke up with someone, I feel fine. I feel like she's better than when I was talking to her to begin with. And I'm really glad about that. She's able to go enjoy herself now in ways that she couldn't before. And one day, I hope to have friends that will also help me. I'm not sure, what do I really need help with? I need help. I need help enjoying myself. Sometimes I say I miss my friends, but I really just miss my sister. And even though my sister a lot of the time doesn't hang out with the best people either, and I can see that about her. But maybe she's already learned these lessons. I hope one day that I can realize what it means to have friends. And my sister seemed to have gotten it right. She's not close to anyone. She's very, very good. And I hope one day I can also be like that. So, and I also am so proud of myself for recognizing these things. I think that this is brilliant. Okay, well, have a fantastic evening.